Okay, let's get this through here. Provided that you all, or at least most of you, passed the 1-point perspective test, it's time to start talking about 2-point perspective in architecture because that ties into your next project. Now, there are a couple of definitions here that you'll find on your papers when I print these out, so no need to even write anything, just try and memorize. Architecture, the art of buildings and other man-made structures. And city planning, the organization of architecture in a given area. Perspective and architecture go hand in hand in the designing of a city. The same drawings we do of streets and hallways are done before sections of a city are even zoned and built upon. Because of this, the location of the horizon line, HL, is meant to communicate how the viewer should feel about what they see. This isn't about making something that is accurate, it's also making something that is welcoming. City planning goes into not just making a city, but how also to sell that city. Because hey, this is America and money answers everything. Somehow. Now, I have already put down the horizon line, and I'll just label that for the sake of argument. And you guys see that there's a vanishing point here. There's also one over here. Now, back at one point, if I had one that was all the way over on the edge of the plane, then all you can do is just have your vectors come out towards the rest of the picture. Now, this is where 2-point is both probably one of the most fun, ooh, this little curve there, and one of the most fun of perspective, but also the one that's most easily able to leave you discombobulated. And I'm not going to tell you what that word means, look it up. There we go. And the thing is, for 2-point perspective to work, you have to have vectors coming from both vanishing points. So in this case, I have those, and I bring in these. The importance of doing this is that the lines will intersect. And where the lines intersect, it's like here, 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 and so forth, that determines where your height, where your verticals are going to come to play. Because see here, you're not going to use horizontals much, if at all. What matters for 2-point is height and general placement in space. So in this case, I'm going to use this one right here. Once again, do not be worried if your drawing does not immediately look like mine, and do not worry if you have too little or too many vectors. Okay, maybe wait a little bit if you have too many vectors. Simple rule. You only need as many vectors as you feel that you need. If you're not sure how many to use, start small, then add more as you need them. If you don't know how many to use, don't fill up your entire picture with vectors because that makes it extremely difficult just to clean it up afterwards. Now we're going to deal with 3 ways of dealing with 2-point. Your vanishing point and horizon line in the middle, which gives a centered feel, it's normalcy, it's calm, it's nothing to really scream about, but it sells well to an investor. We're going to be dealing with high vanishing point to the horizon line, which will create an aerial view. High horizon lines convey a sense of grandeur, of something large and incredible or imposing. And finally, we're going to deal with low horizon line vanishing points. A low horizon line conveys a down-to-earth message and puts the viewer in the picture. This changes greatly once 3-point perspective comes into play later, however, because remember, 3-point perspective is an extreme view. You're either looking way up or way down, so it can make someone feel very mousy, or it can set off your vertigo. Whichever comes first. But back to the matter at hand, this. So as I said, I was going to use this in this section right here. Even label it, why not? And from here, I'm going to come down. And I'm going to take these vectors here, to make myself just a little bit of a rectangular prism. Now, as you notice, there is no intersection here, which should be a game over, but I'm just going to keep drawing here, and then fill in where I need. Wondering once again why I keep turning the page is because an easy way to get a straight line without having to rely on a ruler, like so, is to draw in the direction of your dominant hand. I am right-handed, so I keep turning the paper, so I am always going right. I try not to sketch too much because that can create more of a mess than you need. And there you have it, a nice little rectangular prism. But we're not done. Remember that the intersections establish where your height begins. So I'm going to take this other intersection up here. Take the neighboring vectors. Add myself another. Ooh, that is messy. That's what I'm trying to go to the left. There we go. Now you notice I'm not using any horizontal lines. Horizontals would actually serve to flatten this out, which we do not want. We want to convey that this is three-dimensional space. So now that I have two of these, I am just going to make, let's make that one. One little further down. Now, so keep in mind, as we get closer to our vanishing point, yeah, things vanish into the vanishing point. That's kind of the entire point. God, I'm saying point a lot. However, you don't want to put anything too important so close, because see the difference between the tops of these forms here, how it starts to bend out more and more. The thing is, the further you go along, the more it's going to warp your drawing to the point that it just looks uncomfortable. Okay, we have that down. And let's get, with the building sizes we've gotten here, let's not go too crazy. Let's just take this one. Now already this is looking a lot more full than anything we've done before. 1 point is very good for more suburban or close-knit scenes, but for something large, to really establish a space, you really want to use 2 points. 1 point is just a little too close, a little too intimate. First person of the perspective, I believe Mr. Jacob Symes likes to put it, but whatever keeps him working. And yes, I will call out some of y'all during these little videos, because why not? And right there, 4 perfectly good buildings. But a building cannot just sit on by itself, because that's just not how city building works. So we're going to make a sidewalk. Now, the size of your sidewalk has to be in proportion to the buildings you have, meaning that your sidewalk can't be humongous, because then that actually makes your building seem smaller. But if you make it too small, it makes it look like we're dealing with skyscrapers, or at least something more downtown-y like Fort Worth or Dallas. But we definitely want more than what a downtown Waxahachie has. That's not really a downtown, it's a town square, if anything. So we are going to just go right by here, since buildings are more associated with pavement and stone. I'm going to make myself a small one here, and this is also once again why I say do not put too many vectors on your page, because imagine trying to navigate through all this. There we go. Just gotta take this. And this. And we have ourselves a corner. Now, you're going to need lines to actually separate these out into a proper sidewalk. And this is where, for all of you that for some reason had this habit of putting diagonal lines in your sidewalks, now you can put diagonal lines in your sidewalks. Like, dare I say, it is easier to control the distance that you're conveying with your sidewalks using 2-point. Then once you have those lines down, refine, refine, refine. And there you have it. Okay, as this is a street, I'm going to assume this is a crosswalk. Let's start putting in some doors. Now, given the size of a sidewalk here, got a little more three-dimensional diddy-doo here. Given the general size of a sidewalk, these can't be too big of buildings. So let's say that door would be about, let's see, this is the horizon line here. Let's say the door is this big. Now, I'm assuming that this is a nice little store area. You're going to need windows. And stores like this, the windows are generally all around, except for maybe one area, because no one needs to be seeing into the back of the store. This is where we start establishing windows. And there we go. Let's get a sign. And yeah, we shouldn't need it on both sides. Get a little top space here. Focus, there we go. And there you have it, a nice little store. Now let's do more of a street. Let's not worry about these too much here just yet. Let's try to get something on the street that really established that this is a more busy area. So we can add like a little trash can here or there. I don't think of the trash cans we have outside, for example. There we go. And let's see here. Well, now that we're actually dealing with a proper street, what about street lights? Maybe use a vertical. Establish my height. And for a street light, and there we go. And hey, we actually get to use some horizontals with this. Don't get used to them. And because I've been caught by more of these, and I can't admit, I'm sure your parents have, let's add a little traffic camera right up here. Now remember, we can't have a street sign, or street light, without a street sign proper, so we'll just make a little one here. Going one way, going the other way. Zoom in so y'all can really see that. Alright. Now we've more or less established our story here, so we can actually start cleaning this up and getting it ready for further details like texture or shading. Remember, you always want to draw lightly. We can get rid of the intersection here too now. Not completely anyway, so I can see what I'm doing. Right, for the shading. Now, a number of artists will tell you to hold off on shading details and all that until the very end. But I am more of the camp of, as you get done with something, just take care of the details with shading then. Nothing feels more overwhelming than getting an entire drawing done, never doing the details in between, and then now having a bunch of details you have to do on the back end. I'll leave it to you to what you want to make the store, Payless, GameStop, whatever else y'all shop at. I've been a mall rat since I was 16. A lifetime ago. Okay. And right there we have our store, we have our street light, street sign. That's our trash can, don't pollute, give a hoot, whatever. And from here you can really turn any of these buildings into anything else you want, so long as the size makes sense. I mean, we can't really have this be a parking garage, it'd be a pretty wimpy looking parking garage. This one might work for that though. But let's get into other little details on our street here. How about a crosswalk, where I have a line that we can use right here. Yeah, let's wait till we get to drawing cars. And let's make one over here too. Can you tell him when it's after school? Alright, there we go. And there you have it. We have 2 crosswalks ready to go. And I'll even put down the little box here that you see the walking symbols. Now, as we have those out of the way, it's time to start thinking about what we put in our backgrounds. Now, right now what we have is decent enough, but there are certain things that we can do to enclose the space, make it seem like there's more to it than what we have. And part of that is taking into account that our picture goes well beyond whatever we have in the box or where we have on the paper. Part of architecture and using two-point perspective, or any perspective, is coming to the understanding that the world that you create on that page continues off of that page. So in this case, there could be another building here. There could be a police station, could be a firehouse, could be a gas station, you don't know. But a nice little sheet. For those of you that were able to do the alleyway, I'll have a video for that one up hopefully tomorrow. Another nice way to enclose a space and give it more life is to use a vertical line, or in this case, I have some notches here to denote brickwork, and shade it in. Because the object is so close, you can't really get details because everything would get blurry. For example, you can better make out the details in my hand if I have it close to the camera, but not too close. Because see, here, then, yeah, everything kind of starts to blur together. Give it a second to focus. There we go. So because this building is so close, we can just shade it in. No need to worry about any big detail. This is a sheet that my professors used to teach me all the time. What you should not do is do it on both sides. It makes the scene look very small and now takes away how open it is compared to a one-point perspective drawing. So from here, I'm going to make kind of like a shadow of a building. So once you get further enough, especially as you get closer to the horizon line, you can actually just start shading things in, just blocking them in. Because if something can be so close that you can't get the details, obviously if something's farther away, you can't get all the details either, can you? It's a little mock-up of what you actually can do with perspective. Okay, I think we've gotten a lot done here. Guess I'm going to put some road markers down. And of course, you can go ahead and shade this if you so choose. Obviously, we will delete lights as well. Here we go. Now, no one here can say, "Oh, I didn't know there was a light there, officer." Yeah, no, that never works. I've tried. And from here, you can really just build this however you choose. You can have some lines coming in. To make a stairwell. Kind of looks like a screaming face. Yeah, whatever. I mean, here you can have a whole bunch of other things. Chimneys, air conditioning units, and yes, you're going to need air conditioning units on these. Different types of roofs, dishes, billboards. Add whatever you like, because this is, at the end of the day, the city that you are creating. I can only guide you on it. I cannot tell you what to do beyond... Okay, I should be able to tell you what we can do with this. I don't like to delegate too much because that takes away the creativity you'd be able to put together otherwise. Do some light grip work. There you go, another one ready to go. And keep in mind, you can just keep adding on more and more until you feel that you've done as much as you can with your vectors. Just keep this in mind. If the more you do, the more it has to make sense in context what you're doing. From what I have here, this is practically nothing more than an outdoor mall. Or maybe just like a strip center. If I start adding skyscrapers in, would have to then explain why a skyscraper would be right behind a building that's this small. If the buildings around tend to be around 1 or 2 floors, you're not going to necessarily have a 66-floor skyscraper. So keep that in mind. Here, I would not go more than 3 floors. And even then, that 3rd floor best be for something really important. That's probably when you should put in your parking garages. Always leave space for alleyways. Because if people can't walk between buildings, chances are these areas are not built well enough to even support the sidewalk. but don't leave so much space that there might as well be another road there. Like this, honestly, we can probably take out this bit of sidewalk. Put down a little stop sign. And we have another place that someone can drive out from. We will go over city planning more once you're in class and actually watching this video, and we'll go over some different examples as well as looking into examples from other countries, because guess what? More than America makes buildings. Shocking, I know. Ooh, this is already gone 25 minutes, so I will cut it off here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will be going around to everyone throughout the course of this video to do one-on-one and small group tutorial on this. Don't worry, we're going to take almost a week on this before I toss you into a project, because y'all going to need it. And with that, I bid you adieu.